Herring from Now We're Cooking. It's Tuesday and it's time again for tips, tricks, and treats. It's been a little off kilter lately, but we're getting right back into it. This time of year I have a hard time because it's not really spring still, it's not really summer, and what do I want to eat, and I want it to be fresh, and I want it to be easy, and all of those things. So what I am going to do today are two different kind of pie type recipes, not really a pie, that you could use as an appetizer or as a dinner. And I'll explain as we go along. They're very easy. One has a few more steps than the other, but neither one is very difficult. One is called an Australian zucchini slice because they said that instead of calling it a bar, they called it a slice, and it's not a sweet, it's a savory. So what I've already done is you can use onions or leeks, and I used a half of an onion instead of a leek, and I cooked them in olive oil for about 7-8 minutes till they got a little caramely. Then I chopped up some green olives and some garlic and added those and cooked that. So this mixture is olives, onions, garlic, and black pepper, and it smells marvelous. This also has zucchini, so I've already grated the zucchini. And then the cheese is either Parmesan cheese or cheddar cheese. And I'm going to put a little bit of both because I like the color of the cheddar. So in my bowl, I have 5 eggs that I just need to beat up a little bit. And then 1/3 cup of olive oil. I'm just going to get the yolks broken up. So in goes the olive oil. And to this mixture, I'm going to add the zucchini. And I grated it, and I was curious, a lot of times when you do a zucchini recipe, they say to let it sit. No moisture came out, and I thought that was pretty cool. So this was 2, give or take, medium zucchinis grated. And I just used a flat grater. You could use your food processor or a box grater or any of the above. So the zucchini's in there. And then I want to scrape in our vegetable mixture. And I'm not going to whisk anymore because I don't want all that caught up in my whisk. So in goes the veg. It smells so good, and if you're a garlic fan, onions and garlic I think are just one of the nicest aromas and makes me hungry every time I smell it. So I've got my veg mixture in here. I'm going to put the Parmesan in, and then there's flour and a little bit of baking powder that's going to help it hook everything together. So I'm going to put the Parmesan in, and I used a microplane on this so I have really fine Parmesan shreds. And then I just took the baking powder and mixed it in with the flour. And as always, if you're not sure of the age of your baking powder, might be time to get some new. Baking powder and baking soda do lose their oomph and don't work as well if they're not fresh. So they do have an expiration date on the bottom of the can, and I usually put the date that I opened it on the can. So I've got everything mixed up in here. Olives, zucchini, eggs, cheese. And I'm gonna, since I have cheddar cheese for the next one, I'm just gonna borrow a little teeny bit of it. Not a lot, just a bit. You could use all cheddar and not Parmesan at all. I just want a couple of shreds in there. So I want to be sure that there's no flour, that the flour's all incorporated in the mixture. And it's a fairly thick batter, I guess you want to call it. So it goes in an 8x8 or a 9x9 pan. And this is one of those times I have a lot of 9x9s. I only have one 8x8. And if you're within an inch or so of what your recipe calls for, it's not gonna be noticeably off. So what I've done is I've lined the pan with parchment paper. And it's one of those, I'm slowly getting into this lining the pan business because it allows you to lift them out and slice much easier. But I'm looking, everything's mixed in there. Let me just double check that I didn't leave anything major out. I think I got it all. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in my prepared pan. I grease the pan and then I put parchment paper in it. So just to let the parchment come out a little easier. And then I'm just gonna flatten this out in here so it won't be high parts and low parts. And it goes in the oven for about half an hour. And it'll puff a little bit, not super high. And you just kind of have to watch it. It'll be slightly brown and a little bit puffed. And then you can serve it hot, you can serve it cold, you can serve it room temp, whatever works with what you're doing. Okay, let me show you. So can you see? So that's the zucchini going in the oven. The other one is one of those recipes that really isn't even hardly a recipe. You can do this again in a pie pan, or you can double it in a 9x13. And this comes from a really old cookbook of mine, but I've made versions of it a lot. It's green chili, cheddar cheese, and egg. What's not to love about those things? So I had it called green chili strips, and so these were from. Ooh, these are a little warm. These are from some that we put up. Excuse me. Now Matthew's got me doing it too with the chili. These are from some that we put up this fall. If you don't have your own, by all means, I'm going to use part strips, and I'm also going to use part just chopped green chili. Strips used to be you could buy canned strips. That's what everybody did. I'm kind of splitting it a little bit because when we cut it later, I want it to be a little easier to cut. And I did take most of the seeds and ribs because I've got a big snoot full of chili right now.
That's what's happening.
My goodness. So yes, this is warm chili. And then to fill in the little blank spots, I'm just going to take some already prepared chili and just fill in some gaps. And again, as hot or as mild a chili as you like. But oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It smells really good. The one thing it didn't say, and because that chili came right out of the freezer, I had not seasoned it too much, so I am going to sprinkle. This is a product that we sell and we really like called Livia's. It's salt, pepper, garlic, and I'm just going to sprinkle some on top for a little extra oomph. So then you take the cheddar cheese and you cover this with cheddar cheese. And again, if you want more cheese, go with more cheese. I want to cover it all. I kind of measured, it calls for about 8 ounces. Excuse me, and now I'm doing it all. There's not that much left over. So cheese and chili. And then I need 2 eggs and a little bit of milk. And that's what's going to bind everything together. And earlier when I did it, I actually used a 3rd egg because I didn't think there was enough liquid. And I think that's just a function of your, calls for about 2 tablespoons of milk. We'll see what this looks like. core. I'm thinking one more egg. And I have one sitting right there just in case. If you want it a little bit thinner, just put the 2. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of make sure everything is submerged, that the chilies aren't sticking up. That's it. Into the oven it goes. So you're thinking, okay, now what do I do with these things? Well, I'm going to show you. So, let's say you're having a cocktail party. I want to have this salad. And you want something a little bit more than just cheese and crackers and charcuterie board. This kind of thing would be ideal to add to it. So all I need is a decent, didn't get my knife out earlier. So I can slice this as large. If I was doing it for a cocktail party and putting it on a platter, I would make little teeny individual bites, like so. And put them on a platter, put them on my board that has everything else on it, but it's just a nice little nibble. Now, on the other hand, if I was having a lunch or I need something for dinner that I'm not going to fill this all because I have another item to put on. So let's say that I want this for dinner. I'm going to do a larger piece, put it on my plate, and then I'm going to put a little salad next to it. Should be a tomato in there. And there I've got a nice light little dinner. Now the cheese option. If you're a cheese chili fan, the parchment does make that so much easier to get out. This I'm real curious because I didn't grease the pan. I didn't do anything like that. So I'm going to cut it half. And again, if I was doing it for a cocktail party, they say wedges, I would do it, I'm going to do it like this. Let's see if I can wiggle it out. There we go. So again, there's my chili. Yum. So I would cut little squares and put it on my platter. I'm going to eat this one. So again, I could do it like that, or I could cut a wedge like so and do the same thing. I'm going to share that plate and we're going to pretend we're having 2. So you've got some options. You can do it for a snack, you can do it for dinner. Both of these to me would be really good for breakfast too. Maybe I'm the only one that likes that sort of thing, but they're easy, they're not things that are hard to come by, and it's just a different way of presenting them. So I'm just, for myself, trying to gear up and get some different things going on for springtime, and these both sounded good, and I think they're quite deliciousness and easy to do. So now we're cooking is at the northeast corner of Paseo del Norte in Wyoming. We're open Monday through Saturday from 11 to 4. We've got some events coming up. On the 2nd of May, we're having a demonstration of some DeMarie drink mixes that we sell with a really cool Cuisinart product that produces like slushies. So we'd love to have you stop by on May the 2nd or any time And don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up, and we've got a lot of options to help you with that. So I'll put the recipes and the pictures up. I thank you so much for watching. Come see us at Now We're Cooking. We look forward to seeing you again.